Now we can get back to the serious stuff. Story number 2 from Train Tracks, out today in every bookstore. Again, they're short stories because you have short attention spans and you never heard them on the radio before. Boy in the River. Notice the photo of my father standing in the Neversink River in the Catskill Mountains. He was a young man then, and I was about 3 or 4 years old. An incident occurred then that has shaped my life. There was a large waterfall not far from there that we kids were warned to avoid. South Fallsburg, New York was the location. My dad and I were upriver, me in a large inner tube, splashing around, protected by my father, or so I thought. He began to maneuver the tube, so I was upriver from him, and the waterfall with a strong current running towards him, and down, down, down to the churning white falls. As he pushed me away from him and away from the direction of the waterfall, he said, "I'm pushing you over the waterfall." And with a smile, he pushed me. I began to cry. In fact, I lost my little head, fearing he was sending me to my death. As the current took me towards him, he grabbed onto my tube and said with a smile, "Don't worry, I was just kidding." Since then, I have never completely trusted anyone. Maybe he did me a favor, knowing people in the world. Maybe he did this because he wanted to toughen me up. Who really knows? But this was my Abraham and Isaac moment. And I don't think it was God who told him to fake pushing me over the waterfall, only to tell him not to at the last moment. That's it. You know anyone who's written any better memoirs than I? And I got to tell you something. It's come at the right time for me because there's got to be a transition right now from the election to other things. And, you know, I call Train Tracks a tragicomic look at family, home, and the holidays. A tragicomic look. Because family is tragicomic. Don't go for the Hallmark view that everything's, supposed to be perfect, every day and in every way. It isn't. And I talk about growing up poor in the Bronx in New York during the 40s and spending my childhood working as an apprentice to my father at the antiques market on Ludlow Street in Manhattan, and my father's emigration from Russia, and how my father taught me tough lessons while growing up, leading me to compare my often difficult relationship with him with Abraham and Isaac's relationship in the Bible, which is, by the way, how fathers and sons are supposed to be together. I don't mean he's supposed to take out a knife and put it to your son's neck, okay? But, you're supposed to put him through a little trial here and there. It's the way it's been done from the beginning of time. From working as a social worker fresh out of college to the painful memories of his brother's institutionalization to his thoughts on modern-day relationships, Savage reveals some of his most intimate details. And that's it. You want to talk about Romney, Savage, Train Tracks, Teddy, all aboard, because that's the train we're on tonight on the Savage Nation.